So judging by the title of the video, you're probably thinking, oh my God, he's actually been tested for coronavirus. Basically, because I work in a hospital and I developed some sort of symptoms, i.e. I lost my voice, and then last night it got a little bit worse and I started getting a trickle down my throat and a bit of a cough. So this morning I ended up going to a COVID-19 clinic and getting tested. That was a very uncomfortable experience, having a swab pushed into your nose, into your throat. You know, you gag both times really. But essentially, yeah, because I work in a hospital, I need to make sure that I'm COVID-19 free. Because if I was to go back to work, I'll look after some people with immunocompromised, systems, people with cancers, people with all sorts of diseases, illnesses. I'll be putting them at risk greatly if I was to go back to work with, COVID-19. So, yeah, so this morning I ended up getting tested. Once again, I like I said to you guys yesterday, I actually feel systemically quite well. Like I don't feel bad in any way. It's just I've lost my voice. I do have a bit of a cough, so like if I was to do some metabolic conditioning stuff, high rep squats, I probably feel it then, but I feel strong. Like I feel I could lift right now. Obviously I can't go, full bonkers because, you don't want to tax the system too much. You want most of the resources, the energy to go towards, recovery and repair and finding, this cold, which I think I have, and knocking it for 6. So that's basically where I am right now. I'm lucky I've got a couple of days off work, so I'm not missing out on work. But essentially 24 to 48 hours is what they say for the COVID-19 swab to come back. Because I'm a healthcare professional, they might prioritize me, they should prioritize me so I can, get back into the workforce. But yeah, so basically that's where I am right now. I'm not going to do a full squat session today. Even last night I thought to myself, if this gets worse, as in, I woke up this morning and I felt weak and, body aches and all of that, what would that mean? Would that mean that would be the end of the Squat Everyday program? And then I thought to myself, well, I could just make a mockery of it and just do 5, bodyweight squats, and that would classify as squatting every day. They kind of made me laugh because, I don't want to break the streak that I have here, which is 182, I think, so far. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now with the COVID-19 business. I've swabbed and just waiting for the results. But yeah, something else I've been thinking about as well is the issue with the deadlifting, how I'm going to approach deadlifting. So obviously once I recover, which I anticipate is going to be next couple of days, I want to do something with my programming which allows me to train the posterior chain a little bit more, to train the deadlift a little bit more, because I've completely put it on the back burner. Squatting is going great, I feel strong, I feel like I'm getting stronger, but the deadlift is just stagnant. So while I was reading last night and looking at different videos and things, I came across the good morning exercise. The reason why that made me interested was because the whole thing about deadlifting on the Squat Everyday program is recovery. And predominantly the central nervous system recovery. How do you squat every day and then deadlift once or twice a day, a week, to get that central nervous system kind of to fire and to remember how to load the posterior chain? Because my squats right now are very much vertical, so I don't really get a lot of involvement with posterior chain. Mostly I'm doing front squatting, and then when I'm back squatting, it's high bar back squats. So I'm not doing low bar squats at all. The reason why I think good mornings is a good idea, and before I recorded this video, I just did some empty bar good mornings. The reason why that makes sense to me is because it spares the central nervous system much, much more than a full deadlift does. Number one, you're starting from the top, so you're not breaking inertia off the floor. That's one of the biggest things about the deadlift and why it taxes us so much, because there's no stretch reflex at all. There's no bounce at all. It's just breaking inertia off the ground. That's number one. The second thing is the bar is in your hands. That's a big, big deal. Now, the point that I want to make right now is I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to put it on the screen here. I have trouble saying the name of this model, but it's called the Homunculus Man. I think I'm saying that correctly. Basically, you can see it on the screen now. Basically, it is a model of what our brain sees. What that means is that it basically, to scale, to innovation, to scale, I guess, it's an image of what our brain sees in terms of how many nerves go to different parts of the body. Automatically you see that there's this figure, this model is disproportionate, and it's weird looking. Number one, the lips are big, the head is big, the hands are humongous, and the genitalia is also very large. So this is where most of our nerve endings, this is where our central nervous system is the most sensitive with. So it only makes sense if you were to deadlift a lot, if you were to do things with your hands a lot, you would tire out your central nervous system, and therefore you would have longer recovery periods. This is why most people agree that the squat is the best exercise, because it spares the hands and it allows you to put on mass on your body, because the central nervous system doesn't get fried. The bar's resting on your back, and you're able to just use the areas of your body which are not getting super dense innervation from your nerves. That way you are spared. So anytime you're working heavily with your hands, you're going to get stronger, you're going to get pretty good at using your hands, but you're going to get central nervous fatigue, which is going to limit how much volume you can do, because your nerves are just fatigued. So this model basically came up in my mind. Now, I saw this model years ago, and it came up last night when I was thinking about the good morning. I was thinking, should I do the good morning or should I do the RDL? And the discussion there in my mind was, the RDL is still, the bars in your hands, it's quite heavy, and it would fatigue you. So I want to do the good morning. I want to do it obviously with perfect form, so my back is straight, and I'll go until my hamstrings can go, and that's basically it. So I'm going to try and introduce that very light. I mean, the good morning is a very dangerous lift. In fact, Bruce Lee snapped his back up using the good morning, but he was doing it in such a sense where he was actively looking to round his lower back, because what he wanted to do, this is my understanding of, I haven't looked into this a little while, but from what I understood when I heard about this, was that he was actively looking to round his spine, to work the spine in the compromised position. He ended up slipping a disc. He ended up bulging a disc, and he spent quite a lot of time in bed in agony, because he just blew up this disc. So the good morning is an exercise not to be fucked with. You need to respect it, and you're not going to be loading it stupid weights. Now, I've seen people like Dan Green, these type of guys from Elite FTS, put on stupid amount of numbers on the bar. These dudes are advanced experts, world champions. So I'm not that, and most of you guys are not that either. So start very slow with the good morning. That's what I tend to do. I just did 5 sets of 20 with the barbell, just kind of feeling out the movement, trying to work out how I'm going to go with it, blah, 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 blah. So I think this is a good approach. This is how I'm going to approach training the deadlift with the squat every day. I'm going to eliminate the arms from the posterior chain exercise, which is basically the good morning and the deadlift are identical exercises. The only thing being is that the bar is on your back and not in your hands. So automatically, you're not going to have thoracic back rounding, and you're not going to have, the weight in your hand. Even if you're using straps, you're still using your hand to hold on to it. And I hope that my recovery is not, so taxed from doing the RDL, doing the good morning. So that's where I'm right now. As you guys can see, my voice is atrocious. I don't even know if this video is going to be good for me to put up. But anyway, I decided to kind of speak to you guys about what's happening and my plan for the deadlift. So I'm going to hit the squat now. I'll do some front squats, and I'll bang out 4 or 5 reps each time. Big jumps. I'll try and hit maybe 100, 120, and we'll call it a day. So once again, I feel all right. It's just the voice is screwed up, and I don't want to, do too much work today and tax my recovery, and then tomorrow I wake up even worse. So let me get nice and set up, and then we'll do some front squatting. All right, let's see what I can do. So jumping straight to 60 kilos, you can see that this workout is not going to take very long at all. It's going to be quite a quick workout, but that's kind of what I need and all I can do today. Hopefully tomorrow I recover. It's really weird. Like I'll be very, very surprised if I'm positive for COVID-19 because basically there's been no cases in my city, Adelaide, Australia. I think we've got like one new case in the last 3 weeks or something like that. I'm not completely up to date, but we've completely flattened the curve. The whole country's shut down. We're not really, we're not allowed to move, you know, from interstate to interstate. Like, you know, the borders are shut, everything's shut. Like the only way you can move is from some extenuating circumstances. You need permits and all sorts. And in the hospital where I work, we haven't had any freaking positive patients. My hospital that I work at is not a primary COVID-19 hospital, so we have a sister hospital, like the main hospital of Adelaide. They've set up, you know, clinics, wards and things to deal. So all the people should be going there. So we are the clean hospital in our area, and the other hospital, the main hospital, is the dirty hospital. So, you know, we've been good. And the likelihood of this being COVID-19 will be extremely, extremely rare. But because I'm a health professional, because I have symptoms, you gotta get tested. Like I said, I feel good. Like this feels like a laryngitis. There's no aches and pains. I feel really good. I feel really fresh. Like I feel strong. I could train, you know, full bonkers, but I don't want to, like I said, tax the system. Feels like a cold, laryngitis, kind of coldy thing. I suspect next day or two it's going to be, I'm going to be back to 100%. But yeah, it is what it is. I had a night shift on Sunday night, and that kind of took a little bit out of me. Didn't really get a whole bunch of sleep, and maybe that's where the immune system kind of dipped and I got on well. But anyway, let me hit this for a couple of reps. I reckon I'll leave it at 100, just to touch some, you know, weight today, and get back in the house, eat some food, and relax, play some FIFA, mess around. But yeah, it's unfortunate. These things happen. You know, you're gonna get sick, especially, you know, in the industry I work in, man. Like I look after sick people all the time, especially in emergency. Like that's all we do, like, you know. So I've been pretty good. Like, you know, I don't get sick because my immunity is going to be up and about, because I basically work in a septic tank, basically. There's just a lot of sick people around, so you're constantly getting exposed to microbes and things, and you know, your body kind of develops immunity. What does screw it up is when you kind of overreach with training. And I have been, you know, pushing pretty hard recently with, you know, squatting and, you know, push-ups and all this sort of stuff. Like pushed a little bit hard. My immunity did, because I overreached perhaps, and you know, viruses are opportunistic creatures, so when the immunity drops, they come in and they multiply and they cause havoc. So I think that's what's happening, but and you kind of have to, you know, alter your dosages with training and try and allow the body to spend most of its resources on fighting these damn bugs and not repairing damaged muscle and, you know, whatever else. So basically that's what's going on. Let me hit this one 100, and then I'll report back tomorrow, and I'll hopefully I know the result of the swap tomorrow, and we can get on with proper training. All right, done. Catch you guys.